Okay, so we're recording now. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the electronic databases that we have here through the library and how you can become better searchers and why we should use those databases when we're doing scholarly research. We're already smart searchers. You want to go shopping? Where do we go? We usually go to the store website or to a site like Amazon. If we want to learn how to do something like knit or change our tire, we can go to YouTube and find a video on just about anything. And Pinterest is the go-to for crafts and home decor type stuff, really anything. And then Google is our kind of catch-all. We can go and find out who was, the actor that played in that movie, or really anything. But
Teachers, pardon this announcement. I need at this time for the honey bears and cheerleaders to be released. Only the honey bears and cheerleaders to be released at this time. Thank you.
when we're doing scholarly research, we want to go to the databases. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why we want to do that, and again, how we can become better searchers in those databases. This is a quick video you've never seen before.
Library databases are paid for by the library, so you can have free access to scholarly information, whereas some internet resources require you to pay for them. While content in library databases is evaluated for authority and accuracy, information found on the internet may be incorrect, misleading, or biased. Through subject guides, you can find databases relating specifically to your topic. While the internet is a vast sea of unorganized information, library databases allow you to quickly limit or expand your search to find the articles you need. But a search engine like Google often returns an overwhelming number of results with no quick way to narrow them down or ensure that they relate to your topic. Lastly, information in library databases is stable, while websites come and go. In short, you should use library databases in order to quickly find relevant scholarly information you can use in research papers or other course projects.
Okay, so just to recap a little bit what she said, the library databases we have are safe, so we know that the information that you're searching for and the results that you get are filtered through the database companies so that it's safe and appropriate. The information in the databases are accurate, so they've again been reviewed for accuracy. These databases are free for you through library purchases, plus the state subsidizes a good portion of that. Whereas on the internet, you may come across some of this information, but you would be asked to pay for some of those articles either individually or through a subscription. The information is scholarly, so there's an equal balance of news and magazines with scholarly information that's been written by experts or researchers in the field. And then the library database articles are stable. So a lot of times you may click on a link to a website or an article on the internet and it's broken. These database links are stable and they typically don't change over time. Then the library databases are connected. So when you go to search for a topic, you're going to also see links to other sources for your topic. So you kind of have a one-stop shop for your research because you can branch off into different areas, either within the databases or outside with some suggested links to websites, again, that are credible and have been reviewed. So just basically sums all of that up, that the articles are vetted, meaning that they're critically reviewed before they are accepted to the databases. And probably most importantly, they're not blocked. I did say they were filtered, but that's through the database companies because they review it for appropriateness. But a lot of those controversial topics, such as gun control, where if you just went to Google and type that in, most of the results that you might get would be blocked through our school filters. So you can get to that information through the databases without having to worry about being blocked. So to access the digital resources, you want to go to the high school website. So that's the lcmhs.lcmcisd.org. And you're going to click on the library link in the student corner. That's the little column that's on the left-hand side. And then there's a link that Ms. Roddy has placed on the website that says begin your research here. And that brings you to the big page with all of the databases. So before we go and look at the databases, let's talk a little bit about some different types of searches. Because some different searches can help you find different results and maybe can help you narrow those results. So the first one is the subject search, which looks at the subject headings. Now this is a fixed vocabulary, meaning it's not just any word in there for a particular subject. You have to know the exact phrase or the exact term for that subject. But it's more reliable than a keyword search, meaning that it will actually bring up anything that's been encoded with that subject term. Now the keyword search is a little bit more flexible than the subject search because it will look for that search term, that keyword, in any field. So if it's just been put in a note or it's in a different field, then it will still show up in the list for you. But the keyword search can sometimes give you too many results, or at least a lot for you to look through. The last one is the title or author. You can search for the title of a particular article or book, and you can also search for a single author. So if you know somebody who's written articles about a particular topic, then you can search for that author and find additional information. And you can also combine those two to find the exact title or resource that you're looking for. So the other way you can narrow your results is to use the Boolean operators. So we have and, or, and not. When we use and, this will give you results that include both terms. So regardless of the order, it will look for records that contain both of those terms. So if we search for United States and World War II, then we're going to get a list of results that have both of those terms somewhere in the record. The search term or the operator or will give us results that include at least one of those terms. That's whatever the first term is. So for example, if we search for United States or World War II, we're going to get anything that has United States and anything that has World War II. So we're going to get a lot of results that way. And then the last one, the not operator, will exclude the term. So if we search for United States, not World War II, then we're going to get any article that is related to United States, but it will kick out anything that mentions the United States with World War II in there. So we're not going to get any overlap there. Okay, and then the last search tips that I have for you are some special characters that you can use in your search terms. So the asterisk will stand for any number of characters. So for example, if you search for medic with the asterisk, then you will get results that include medical, medicine, medication, etc. So if you're looking for a variety of results that you don't want to be, limited to just medical or medication, then you could use the asterisk as a wild card to give you some more results. The question mark replaces just one character. So especially if you're unsure of spelling, you can use that so that it will kind of search for you. So for example, relevance with the question mark there in the middle will actually look for the correct spelling. So you don't have to worry about, if you misspell it, then you may not get any results. The exclamation point replaces either one or no characters, which is kind of confusing, but it means that, for example, product with the exclamation on the end is only going to look for product and products. So that way you can actually find the plural of a search term, but there's not going to be any other variations like with the asterisk. And then the last one is probably the most useful, is the quotation marks to help you to look for an exact phrase. So for example, if we put Tuskegee Airmen in quotation marks, then we'll get results where this exact phrase is found. So which database do we start in? Each of the databases has a unique focus. So and we're going to look at a few of those in detail. But you can kind of browse those and see what the focus is for each database and try to choose the one that matches your topic. If you're not sure, there is a power search that I'll show you at the end, which searches all of the databases. It just gives you a lot of results. So it's if you're not finding what you need in the individual databases, you may want to go to the power search. So we have Student Resources in Context, which is a general informational research database. So you can find biographies, government topics, history, social issues, and world topics. Let's see. We have Opposing Viewpoints, which is my personal favorite, because this is where you can really get into those controversial topics that are typically blocked through the school filters. But these articles, again, they have been reviewed, and until they are approved, they don't get into the database. Each topic presents the pro and con, so both sides. And you can also find the national debate topic, which I believe this year it's school funding. So this is helpful for especially juniors and seniors as you guys are working on argumentative and persuasive writing. The Science in Context is just that. It's kind of like the other two, except it focuses on science-related topics and current events that are happening in science. And there's millions of full-text articles that you can find in the science fields. So in these three databases, they have some similar features, and we have a highlighted current event. So there's 5 articles that kind of rotate every couple of weeks or so of the most current news events. And then there's always a featured video. And then we have the featured news on the side, so the latest news features or news topics from various news outlets. For example, this one's Newsweek. So, and then in the middle we have featured topics. So we have a basic search, where you can just start typing the term, and they have what's called a search assist feature. So it's kind of like in Google, how you start typing and it just kind of knows what you're talking about. It will give you some suggestions for terms that you can search for. So you can see all I typed in here was FRAC, and it started to come up with fracking, fractures, fractions, different variations on that particular term. And then you also have an advanced search, and this is where some of those Boolean operators can help. We have kind of like a little template here for you to use that kind of builds that operation for you. So we have fracking, and then I just put in and United States so that I could get information about fracking in the United States. All right, the featured topics. So once you find a topic that you might be interested in, there's a couple of features within each one of those pages. So the topic page will have an overview of the topic. So this can be helpful, especially if you're not sure what you want to research. Then this little blurb can kind of give you an overview of the topic and give you an idea of whether you want to continue the research, if you're interested in it or not. We also have a variety of resources, so it kind of breaks it out. So we have our featured viewpoints, which are the pros and cons. So we have a balance of information from both sides. We have statistics, and we have videos. Wait, sorry, not on this page. Images is on this page. And then on the side, we have related topics. So here's where that connection comes in. We have some related topics to the designer babies topic, where we can kind of branch out and see if there's something else that's related to this topic that we might be more interested in. And then we still have some more. This is still on the same page. We have some reference material, audio. We also have our academic journals. So these are the peer review journals where, you know, people in the field are reviewing each other's work and before it's published. We also have some primary sources. So these are sources that have been created at the time of that particular event, or at the time that this in this particular time period. We also have magazines and news articles. I think I already said videos. And then there's this websites portion. And that's, again, where you can find some outside information where it's going to take you out of the databases. But, again, these have been reviewed and approved to be put into the list. Right? What's in the article? So, again, all of those three databases that I talked about have similar features when you actually look at an article. So you have kind of an abstract that you guys are used to seeing in your scholarly journals. Just an overview of the article, including author background and bio, to kind of let you know that this guy knows or this woman knows what she's talking about. They're experts in their field. There's also some questions to consider while reading, which can help guide you as you're reading through the article. At the end of the article, there's some further reading. So we have some resources that you can go for outside of the databases, and some may even be found inside. But there's books, periodicals, and some more websites. You also have some tools that you can use for each of the articles, or within the article, and we're going to look at those in a little detail. So the citation tools. This helps you when you're looking for the correct style. So you want to choose either APA or MLA to create your citation. And then you can also export that citation to OneDrive. So actually it will create a document that has a citation in it that you can then copy or use that as a part of your works cited. You could download, which you can save it as a PDF just to the computer, the hard drive, or you can save it to Google Drive, and you can also save it to OneDrive. And you can download it, I've already said that, to the computer, or print. And the print works just like pretty much everything else. You just have the print dialog box come up and you can print. Another feature that's pretty handy is the notes and highlights. So when you're in an article and you just highlight a part of the text, you'll see this little menu that pops up, and it has highlight where you can choose your colors. So you have a variety of colors to choose from. And then you also have the notes section. So if you create a note, you can type here. So I said this is a good sentence to show how prolific social media was in 2000, even in 2009. So as you're reading and you have the, instead of the annotations on the paper with pen and paper, you can make those annotations and marks on the article itself digitally. When you're through highlighting, you can choose the highlights and notes option from the menu, from the tools menu, and then what will happen is you'll see all the notes and all the highlights that you made in that particular article in one place. And it actually works if you, in one session, if you're looking at multiple articles and pulling in different information, then you'll have it all listed in one place. So that could be really handy for your research. You'll have all your quotes, all your notes, everything in one place before you start writing. Oh, and I'm sorry, within the highlights and notes, you click on all notes, and that will get you to the list of all your highlights and notes for that session, including other articles. The related subjects give you, again, those topics that are similar to this or maybe just interrelated. that you might want to explore for further research, or that might be a better topic for you. All right, so that was a few of the what type of databases were those? The science and context and opposing viewpoints. So a couple of the other ones look a little bit different. So we have the general OneFile and the InfoTrack database. Both of these are pretty similar. They are general news and content from newspapers and journals and periodicals, but you can see that it does look a little bit different in the search. The basic search is the same as the in-context databases, but this one does have a little feature, and I'm sorry, it's a little hard to see, but you can change your search to either search the subject, the publication, or entire document for like a keyword search. So that is a little different from the others. And then they also have what's called a subject guide search. So if you go into the advanced subject guide search, it kind of guides you through the process of searching for your topic. For this one, it's best to use a single topic word because you don't want to get too narrow, because you're going to basically drill down as you go through the subject guide search. So once you do a search, and this one I did nursing, so I have nursing agencies, nursing education, nursing home, nursing care. So it kind of breaks it up into different subdivisions with related subject or alternate subject terms. And once you click on one of those topics, so this one I clicked on nursing care, and now I have even further drilled down to some specific topics within that particular subdivision. Another feature in these particular databases, and there's a few others that have this, is the topic finder. So this is a visual representation of your subject search. So it's helpful if you're really having a hard time choosing a topic, or maybe you're just not seeing the relationships, or maybe branching out of that particular topic. So for example, this was a search for bullying, and you can see it's just kind of a wheel here. And so all of these are different subtopics. So we have school, we have health, video. So under video, we have law. So now I'm going to get articles that are related to bullying with it's specifically videos and what's the law involved in that particular subject area. And once I click on one of these outer circle categories, then I'll see some results over here that give me some additional articles to look at. So I really like the topic finder. I think it's a neat visual to look at when you're struggling with a topic. Throughout the databases, you may see the filters options so that you can narrow your results. You can limit your search to full text articles. That way you're not just getting abstracts or citations, which does happen sometimes. So if you want to make sure you're going to be looking strictly at full articles or full text, you can do that. You can also narrow it by publication date so that you can make sure it's current, or if you're looking for a particular time period. The document type, so if you're looking for a journal, a periodical, a magazine, or a newspaper, and there's several others. So we have just to help you narrow down those result lists. Okay, so now we have our power search. So this is the one that was, this is on the main database page. The power search includes all of these: the academic OneFile, the Gale Literary Sources and Reference Library, the OneFile, the Newsstand, Opposing Viewpoints, Science and Context, and Student Resources. So when you search through the power search, it's going to look through all of those databases for you. So for this one, I can't read that far, sorry guys. The search term was video game violence. So it went through and looked at all of these databases and brought up some different lists of articles for me to look at. And again, I can, narrow that down on the side with the filters. Okay? So what I have for you guys is the scavenger hunt. And so if you want to pair up, just to get to a computer, and do you guys have some up there? And how about you guys do number 1? So you guys can do number 2, 3, and 4, and that'll be good. If you guys could go and see if you could find the information, the answers to those questions, that would be great. And that handout I gave you will help you with some of those search tips. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you have your laptop.
Okay.
So, let's see, they're gonna do 1, they're gonna do 2, and y'all can do 3. We won't worry about 4 and 5.
List 3 issues that belong to the.
Just do number 1. So if you go to the high school page, make sure you go to the LCM, the high school page to get to the library link. I just have to look at the It's for my class, and I can't get out of the video. Are you good for that? Dalton, y'all got number 1?
Got it.
You got it already?
Oh, yeah.
In just a second.
Can we tell you?
In just a minute.
Our password's bears, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you can't get in, it's also an HS number. Okay.
We just search major issues.
Okay. Which one you going with? So if you go to the database page, go back here, and go to the opposing viewpoints and context. And then go down to the log politics, and you're gonna click on that name. Sorry. And then there's all the different topics, so you just have to just choose 3. Any 3 of those.
Arms trade. Black rights.
So I'll get 2.
Yes, ma'am. Civil rights, China, church and state, censorship, child abuse. You're cutting it. Criminal justice.
There's a lot. There's a lot. All right, Dalton, and Meg.
Go ahead.
What's the question? What was the question for 1?
Read the first one.
Name 2 major issues that impact China.
First
Okay.
one is extreme pollution.
Okay,
The second one is very high population.
okay. And where did you go? Which database did you go to find that? That was that in the opposing viewpoints?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then you guys had the law, which,
Yeah.
okay, so what was your question?
It was list 3 issues that fall under the law and politics topic heading.
Okay. What did you find?
I put arms trade, Black Lives Matter, and North Korea.
Okay. And you found that in the,
In the,
okay, opposing viewpoints. I think we got confused over here, but did y'all find some different China issues? What was it?
We had like U.S. trade,
Okay,
and then we also had pollution.
and y'all did a power search, right? Okay, so that was good. What did you search for?
We just did keywords, so we did major issues.
Okay. Okay. All right, so you guys keep that handout handy. And that's it. Thank you.
Good job, Ms. Claiborne. You killed it.
Almost.
Now we
On
can
the
start
dot,
calling you
almost.
Master Claymore.
Is it
Stop, I
Sarah
can't.
Ms. Claiborne?
Yeah, I can't
You
stop
alright?
it.
Yes.